Hello and welcome to Derry. I'm Lindsay Dunn, your host of the One of My Stories podcast, and with me today is your other host from the Sweet Child of Time podcast. Just like Marge, he's got issues with one eye. He's my favorite pirate. It's Steve Barnes. Ahoy!
Ahoy and arg there, Lindsay. Thank you for recognizing that. How are you?
I'm good. I was happy that it's the one time that it finally makes sense for us to say ahoy.
I know, really, yes. I mean, or maybe you could knight me instead, because you know that they're like a pirate knight couple now, apparently.
The costumes are all selected for the Halloween
date. That's
the
what
Halloween
it is.
Date, yeah. But we won't call it a date. That word got eliminated from the vocabulary really quick.
Oh, we know where it was heading. Come on, kids, don't be coy. I mean, it's fully in bloom at this point. Yeah, I can't wait to get to that section. We always spoil it a little ahead by talking about our favorite stuff from the get-go. But this was an exciting episode for me. I want to ask you first, though. How did you love this episode?
Oh, man, you beat me to it. Okay. Well, this was another great episode. There's been no whammies so far. Ever since the graveyard scene, there's not been an episode that I've really hated or, had any issues with. I thought this one had so much missing information. It was another piece of the puzzle. And this time we go back to 1935. We had a 1908 flashback, and now we get one from 1935. We also get to enjoy a lot of our characters just enjoying life, shooting the breeze, and this is an essential ingredient to any good horror show.
Yeah.
One of the reasons it's so powerful is one of the reasons that it is so powerful is that our Losers Club is established as normal kids with hopes, dreams, fears, and insecurities. So I saw that they were doing that here as a build-up to when the really bad stuff comes. We're going to be more invested in these guys because of this episode.
Yeah. I think it's getting better as it rolls along. Absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned like the whole graveyard. We'll call it a snafu or a fiasco because that's kind of what it was. But ever since then, you're absolutely correct. It's just been getting better and better every week. It's just unfortunate that 5 minutes kind of soured a community for a week there, including myself. But we came back from it strong. And like, I didn't quite follow what you said because you were talking about more mysteries or more puzzles, but I kind of felt like they were throwing some solutions at us. Like we don't have to discuss like who started the Black Spot fire anymore because it's pretty well documented in this episode. And Ingrid pretty much described her whole deal, and Dick Halloran described his whole deal in great detail. So I feel like we got filled in a lot with a lot of backstory.
Yeah, that's what I said. Another piece of the puzzle is, I'm saying.
Oh, was put in. Okay, I know that we got we found the puzzle piece. I see what you're saying. I misunderstood.
A puzzle piece that was stuck under the couch.
We found it. Yeah, I think we found like two big corner pieces, I guess, which I think is like the Dick Halloran box story and Ingrid, which people have been talking mostly about those two things. And I think the showrunners just wanted to shut everybody up. So they gave us this episode.
Yeah, maybe we can call that. Can we call that cemetery thing? Can we call it Cemetery Gate? Everybody always seems to want to put gate on stuff. Pizza Gate. Just call it Cemetery Gate.
And cemeteries do have gates, so it works perfectly. I love it, actually. Ever since Cemetery Gate, things have been much better in Derry's America.
Yeah, we've shared our reactions, but yes, the fandom seems to be another episode where people seem to be split on, and a lot of complaining that people thought it was a slow episode. I totally disagree. It was good to have that because next week's episode is probably going to be pretty horrific.
Right.
Yeah,
I saw mostly like people loving this episode. I think I only saw like maybe one or two posts where people, they did say it was slower, or I don't understand that because I think that these are my types of episodes that I look forward to, where you get to learn, you get these slow burn moments and you get like these small moments that I kind of didn't feel like these moments felt forced. I felt like they were done really well, and they weren't, put in as like a side note. I don't know. I'm kind of stumbling over my words here, just trying to say how much I loved this type of episode that doesn't have to be, all action and all quips and funny stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very set building.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think one of the strongest, there's many strong episodes of Dark, for instance, but I always liked the first episode where we go to school and we see Bartosz and Jonas just hanging out. And then there was another time where they're in his house playing video games and talking about what drugs they're going to buy that evening. So, I mean, those kinds of moments are important. So I enjoyed it. And we got, lots of humor and and lots of good quotes, I think.
I got a new phrase now. Snapped your cap. That's a phrase I've never heard before until I heard Ronnie say it this episode, which is that Lily really snapped her cap, meaning that she like went off or like blew her lid or flipped her wig or something.
Oh, I must have. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch this one the second time. I just enjoyed Army Coke. I think that's, from now on, I'm just going to be,
Air Force Coke.
Air Force Coke. Yes.
They do different stuff in the Army.
different liquor choices. Who knows? Okay. Well, I think we'll just go into our Easter egg hunt. And I have a very small, pathetic egg basket to show you, Steve.
Yeah, mine is pretty small too. I've got 2 that are my own, and then I'll go into some more that I'll give credit to someone else later on. But yeah, I'll let you start, Lindsay.
Okay. Well, the first one I'm going to say is the boiler room.
Okay.
From the first scene.
In Juniper Hill, okay.
Yeah. I'm calling the boiler room an Easter egg because it reminded me of The Shining.
Yes.
And, we've had in our previous iterations of it, the book, I don't think we've ever had a boiler room, but I thought it was very appropriate because boiler rooms are bad. We know that from Nightmare on Elm Street, and which is not a King book, but I mean it's a horror thing. And then The Shining seems to be so connected to this world. So I'm just saying that the fact that they went down to the boiler room to talk to this evil person.
It's funny that I'm such a scaredy cat, and I work in the sewer systems and I work in boiler rooms in these types of places. And yes, I do get the heebie-jeebies when I'm in there. Okay, well, that's a big Easter egg, like a room-sized Easter egg right there. I've got a smaller one. Teddy Uris's poster. They're on the lookout for Teddy Uris when they showed like some of the wanted posters across town, which is significant because you remember last episode, the other kid's dad attacked Hank. It was like, oh, you killed my kids. But the Uris family doesn't think that Teddy's dead. They think he's missing. So I thought that was significant.
Okay. Yeah, I saw his poster along with Lynn Jones. We don't know who she is. Don't know that name, but that was the other person on the poster. Okay. Well, my second Easter egg is it's a projected Easter egg. I can't really say if it's an Easter egg or not, but it was something that came to mind when I saw something. Okay, so during that song, Running Scared, which is also when you saw the Teddy Uris poster, there were all these little vignettes of people in town doing things. And
I love that.
In one of these scenes, there's a high schooler. He's obviously hanging out with his friends, and he's in front of a red truck.
Yes, significant.
And he picks up a flyer, and he's showing it to his friends. And I couldn't help but think that guy looked like Alvin Marsh, Beverly's dad, a young Mr. Marsh. Now, nobody called him Alvin. I can't say that was him. But based on the fact that we saw that somebody loves Alvin Marsh inside the high school. I was thinking, just like we saw that young guy out on the street that looked like Mr. Keene, that looked like Alvin Marsh to me. It looked like the guy that they got to play Mr. Marsh.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. As long as you'll continue to let me have that one. The kid that looked like Richie Tozier that got beat up in episode 2, and I said he looked like Richie. As long as you'll give me that one, I'll give you this one. How's that?
Do we have to talk about your Easter eggs from that many weeks ago?
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, this is a whole collection we've got going.
I mean, I'm not going to dock any eggs.
Okay, good. You didn't dock me that time, so I won't do it this time. Because I like it. I don't know if I agree with it, but I'm with it. I'm down with it. I'm here for it. That's what the kids say. My second Easter egg that I've noticed all by my lonesome, well, I'm just going to shout it out. The Weeblos. We hear that Rich is a Weeblo, or he was a Weeblo. And, I was a Boy Scout leader. We talk about that a lot. My son earned Eagle Scouts. And what a Weeblo is he's like the path between Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. So like you're supposed to start Scouts when you're in first grade, and you're supposed to be a Weeblo by the time you're in the fourth grade, and you're a Weeblo for fourth and fifth grade. Then you're supposed to start Boy Scouts in the sixth grade. But we know that this kid, Rich, instead of going along with the Scouts, he took up drumming with the band. So that's where his focus went to. But it all goes back to him being a Weeblo. That was my Easter egg, Lindsay.
But how's that an Easter egg?
For the Boy Scouts, if there's any Scouts watching, they're like, oh, yay, hey, we'll be loyal Scouts,
Okay, so should I say Coke is an Easter egg because the people who work for Coke will be excited to see that?
Yes, Lindsay got another Easter egg. Congrats.
I'm not sure about that being an Easter egg, as Easter eggs connect to the Stephen King universe. But go ahead with you said you had another
Stephen King
one.
always talks about the Boy Scouts in his books too. So
does he?
Actually, he does. So I'm not just making things up. But yeah, what you got next, Lindsay? Since that was
nothing.
kind of a weak one. Oh, you have nothing.
I have nothing. I mean, okay, I'll say, since you mentioned Teddy's picture, okay. I'll say that there's a picture of Mrs. Kirsch inside a window.
Oh, during that whole
scene too, they put a poster of Hank Grogan right in front of a black and white picture. And I think that is in Mr. Kirsch's window. He has a picture of his wife in his meat window, which is a little odd, but okay. He loves his wife.
Well, they got professional portraits done, That leads to one of my other Easter eggs here.
Okay.
These Easter eggs are brought to you by the YouTube channel New Rock Stars, because I watched this video on YouTube and they gave me some Easter eggs. So I got to give them a shout out, the New Rock Stars. They mentioned those same pictures that we saw in the book that Lily was looking at Ingrid's house. One of them was, it had a picture that said McMurtry Studios next to it, which is a big Stephen King tie-in. His son, what's his son's name? Joe Hill named his dog McMurtry. And Stephen King's favorite book of all time is Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove. So I think that was a shout out right there. Another one that this YouTube channel pointed out was that woman that Rich laid a little kiss on at the jazz club, the Black Spot. He walks by and kisses one of the pictures as he walks past it. Mm-hmm. That picture is, I didn't recognize this, and I would not have caught this at all. It's Sarah Vaughan. She's known as the Queen of Bebop, a very famous jazz singer. I'm not familiar. I'm not a jazz fan. I'm sorry, Rich, but I'm not. But that's the woman that he was checking out. And then there's two really interesting Salem's Lot Easter eggs that are in here. One of them is when they talk about towards the end of the show, when they're talking about getting people together, we got to get the Boone brothers together. The Boone brothers were significant in Salem's Lot, and their whole family, the Boone family, is the one who founded Jerusalem's Lot. And then Cumberland County, which was shouted out also in that book that Ingrid has, that her little scrapbook for herself, I guess. It's like her baby book, except it's for herself all grown up. She says in 1908, she and her dad went to Cumberland County in Maine. And that's also where Jerusalem's Lot, AKA Salem's Lot, takes place. Mm-hmm. So those are my New rock star Easter eggs. So they win this week.
Yeah, I think I, probably could have noticed more. Maybe there was more stuff at the Black Spot, but I didn't have time to do my second watch in front of the screen so that I can see everything. But
I mean, this guy had more Easter eggs than this, but these are the ones that I kind of agreed with that are actually Easter eggs.
Yeah.
The other ones I knew that you would probably have issue with. So I didn't include any of them. Those wild, pulled out of your hat situations.
Sweet Shot of Time is brought to you by Zencastr. Zencastr is the way we record Sweet Shot of Time. We hook up with our guests via video and we record it on audio. Recently, we've been doing video podcasts with the cast of Time Bandits. It's easy using Zencastr. You can record video or audio. You can also edit your podcast or your video via Zencastr. Join Zencastr using my promo code Sweet Child of Time and you can get 30% off Zencastr. If you're ready to start your podcast, it's time to share your story. Share it with Zencastr. That promo code once again, Sweet Child of Time at Zencastr.com.
Okay, well, we're going to go into our character arcs then. Luckily, even though we don't have a lot of Easter eggs, there's plenty of good stuff to discuss.
Oh, dude, yes. I mean, and a update. I told Lindsay before we started recording, I have a nacho chip that's stuck in my gum. It's still there, so I figured I want the listeners.
That's a Frito-Lay Easter egg for all of you. For all of you Frito-Lay employees, give a shout.
It might be why my voice is a little weird this episode, perhaps. But I just wanted to give you an update, Lindsay. It's still lodged in there.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get an update on your nacho chip at the end of the episode too, just to verify.
Well, like Dick Halloran, I'm like drinking a lot to like loosen it up.
Just don't drink any of that dairy water.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we're going to start with the Hanlon family. All right, so let's see. I'm going to start with Will. Okay, so Will, he's this good kid that's always obeyed his parents, but this time with his friends has become too important to him. And Ronnie, in particular, has become too important. He doesn't want to be the one who runs, and so he stands up to his father, and his dad does not like it and puts the full wrath of his anger about that into his hand. So but it was also, you talked about, I want to ask you about how you felt about Will, because you had said you didn't think his acting was that great before when he was showing fear. And he got to show a lot of emotional variety, I felt like, in this episode. Did Will's performance do it better for you this time?
That's an interesting question, because I watched this episode twice, and I didn't view this through the lens of checking out his acting, because I'm really wrapped up in the story.
That's good.
It is good. I think that's telling, because if his acting was bothering me, then it would have gotten in the way of me enjoying the story, because I didn't even consider the fact that he was a good or a bad actor this episode. I just kind of bought it all in, because my notes about Will are that, we saw like a full character arc just in this episode alone, where I believe we're watching Will become a man. We're watching his formative days in this very episode, where he's like realizing he's in love and he's standing up to his dad, and he's determined in his stance with Ronnie, like on multiple occasions. I was just impressed with the kid this episode. And yeah, this whole thing about his dad hitting him that you kind of touched on a little bit there. I got the sense that this is the first time that's happened. Yeah. And I also got a sense that happened because of Derry, of the Derry influence of the town. And I don't forgive Leroy for doing this, because, hitting is a choice. It always is. Mm-hmm. And losing your temper on your kid is common. Your kid saying, terrible things to you is going to happen. I'm sure Will has said terrible things in his childhood. Like most kids end up saying stuff in anger or in sadness or whatever. It doesn't deserve getting hit. I don't necessarily blame Leroy for that, because I know the town has gotten to him. But on the other hand, I do kind of blame him for that, because I'm just the type of person that that's a boundary I don't cross, and I don't expect anybody else to cross it either. So when a character in a show I like, who I get the sense that he's never done this before, I'm like, you shouldn't start this now. And Charlotte agrees with me. She's packing her bags. So I think she kind of agrees.
Yeah, It was a tough episode to watch, I feel like. I mean, we know that Leroy is upset about losing Polly.
Give him some cred. Come on.
I don't know. All of a sudden, my new nephew's name is Paul, and they call him Polly as a nickname. So I got confused there for a bit. But
he's named to honor Polly, right? Yes.
Okay, so he's upset about that, but also it's not just that. Like, the mission went really bad.
Sure.
And Leroy is a person that believes in excellence, always tries to give 100%. So this is really throwing him from a loop that he's participated in this thing that went really bad. And the man without fear has somehow gotten his tail feathers in a tizzle. He was confronted with this thing in the tunnel, and things went horribly wrong. So he did the unthinkable and hit his son. He then goes to Dick Halloran to try to squeeze more juice out of him. But Dick's having his own problems and isn't about to be pushed around by Major Hanlon when he's got big fish to fry of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, she's got the mom instincts have kicked in. We've talked about her she's been activated. She was socially activated when she heard about Hank, but now she's activated as a mom. Mm-hmm. And once she sees Leroy hit their son, it's game over. She didn't say anything right then, but she will not stand for it and is ready to show her discontent with action. So she's ready to pack and actually leave. She's temporarily. It's not like she's saying, I'm leaving you, we're getting a divorce. Right. But she's like, you take care of this. I'm interested how this is going to go down, though, because it might be that the black spot interrupts all of this stuff happening anyway.
I'm sure it will.
Because we don't know how quickly that's all going to go down. It seems to be already going down. But her plan seemed to be to take Will and to go somewhere else, back to Shreveport.
And Hank. She's gonna take Will and Hank. So.
Oh, okay. So she was gonna take him and mm-hmm. Will, mm-hmm. but Will wouldn't. What would Will have said about that? He's not. Well, I guess if she's taking Hank, Ronnie's gonna be there too.
Right. And Will probably. I don't think Will would say anything about that. Like, they don't know the black spot's going to happen. So let's pretend in this conversation that they don't know the black spot's going to happen. I think that, Will would happily go along with his mom and Hank and Ronnie and say, I'll deal with my dad later. Maybe, him and Ronnie will probably have a conversation about that in the car, about his dad hitting them and stuff. And maybe he'll come to terms with that. But I don't think he'd have any qualms about leaving Derry along with Hank and Ronnie.
So you think mainly that his concern then is for Ronnie, because he's made it clear several times that he doesn't want to leave his friends. They took him off the base. Right. They took him out of the city and went to the base, and he didn't like it. And he's saying, I have friends. My friends need me. I can't leave them. So do we think that it's really about Ronnie, and he would just leave Rich and Marge and Lily without any help? I don't know.
That would be a big dilemma that his mom would have to face.
Yeah. Take all my friends.
There's friends, leave your parents behind. Marge's parents won't care that she's left with this strange group.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. I wanted to say a couple things about what you said about Charlotte as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's made up her mind here to pack up her bags to help Hank. And she didn't say that she was going to leave him, but she said that he needed to make things right. And he was like, baby, that's what I'm trying to do. And she's like, you need to make things right with your son, with Will. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like a little thing they left hanging there at the end that we didn't get to see get resolved, of course, in this episode. But that's kind of, Charlotte seems like she has two goals here: to have her men be on good terms with each other, to help out Hank. And I guess third is to get away from this town. She'd rather be in Shreveport, Louisiana, where she was battling racism, than be here in Derry. So I think that's significant.
Yeah. I also found it interesting that she decided to go ahead and tell Leroy about Hank's hideout at the Black Spot. Maybe she felt that hiding things can take a toll. But she's also unhappy enough that she isn't worried about upsetting Leroy. So might as well say she has the right to be upset. But I thought it was mean, because we don't know how Leroy's going to react to this. Obviously, he's probably going to go to the black spot because maybe he figures if Ronnie's there, his son will be there. He wants to make things right with his son. He'll go. But obviously, Leroy's not going to be in favor of him hiding out. So,
well, I mean, I feel like that, Leroy, his argument, when he lost his argument with Charlotte and when he lost his argument with Dick Halloran, which we'll talk about in a bit here, but in both cases, he lost both of them when he started talking about the bigger picture. Like, we're doing this for our country. Mm-hmm. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do. And that's when he lost both of them.
Yeah.
Because in both cases, they both feel like he should have been a little more sympathetic and more family minded or more singular minded, I suppose. Instead of doing it for the greater good, do it for us, your family, which is a losing argument, of course. But with Charlotte, some of the things we're talking about here, she has her own mission that she is on as well, that she feels her mission is also for the greater good, the things that she's doing. So she's just as driven as Leroy is.
Yeah, this is where their conflicts really come out. We've talked about their differences or what perhaps attract them to each other. But when it comes to, she usually goes along with Leroy, but when something is important enough, she's not afraid to stand up to him.
Yeah.
So this has reached that level here. One more thing about Will I thought was a little heartbreaking is the scene when he and Ronnie go with Charlotte to reunite with Hank. And he sees Ronnie being embraced and cared for by her father. And he had this look on his face. And I felt that in that moment, he was thinking, I wish I had that kind of relationship with my dad. And that was really sad.
Okay. I didn't catch that. I would think that, he has that kind of relationship with his mom. So, I mean, I don't know. Good luck with what you got there, Will. Come on.
Right. But I mean, even if you have a good relationship with one parent, you might also like a good relationship with the other parent. So yes, he doesn't have that, but it was, he'd just been hit by his dad and they're having these arguments. And then he sees Ronnie being held and embraced by her dad. And he's like, we're never going to be separated again. I love you. I missed you so much. And
yeah.
And he looked really bummed. And Charlotte kind of puts her hand on his shoulder. So she's, you can tell she's with him then in that moment, knowing what he's thinking.
You know what I got from that same moment was, of course, Ronnie and Hank are reunited. And then Charlotte looks over at Will and she's like, hey, you want to have a moment too? Hey, what do you say? That's kind of what I got from it. Like, I don't know. Like, she was like, hey, you want to talk about this morning? Like, they're having a family moment. Why don't we have one too while we're here? So I don't know. I thought that was like a little, like a little competition, like you and I have with our Easter egg hunt.
Who's going to have the best parents?
That's right.
No,
who can hug them the hardest?
All right. Well, let's move on to Dick Halloran.
Yeah, I don't think he cares about this new mission brief that that Leroy throws on his bed there. He's a tortured man, drowning in alcohol, drowning that pain away. This is kind of like what Danny was going through in the whole book, Dr. Sleep, where he was using alcoholism to like block his pain and block the scary monsters and the ghosts away. And that's exactly what Dick's doing now, that he's stuck seeing them all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not doing well right now.
I'm not doing well. For the first time, like he says, like when he like locked these ghosts up when he was 9 years old. And now we're seeing like, he's probably like 25, I guess. So like, I don't know, like 20 years has gone by and now he's seeing these scary ghosts everywhere he looks again. It's creepy.
Right.
He plays it well too.
Yeah, he has this big confrontation with Leroy where the two of them have a meeting of the minds. I liked that scene between them, and we've talked about oh, will they understand each other?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to work together? And I kind of thought that was happening
Mm-hmm.
until it's kind of made clear that Leroy's not really listening to what Dick
Right.
Halloran has told him, because just like that one week when I said, "Hey, Lily, you should have led with Marge. How are you doing, girl? Are you okay?"
Exactly.
Before
Yes.
you went into, "What did you tell them about me?" Dick Halloran has just shared something very personal and vulnerable about his life.
Mm-hmm.
And Leroy doesn't take the time to address it at all. He's just kind of like, all right, what do we need to do now to go into our next mission? Or how can we go to the next step? He didn't really take the time to empathize with his new colleague. And yes, they're military people, there's duty and all that. But Leroy missed an opportunity again to show the softer side of Sears.
He wasn't that bad. I mean, through the course of the conversation, sometimes he was saying the right things and he was asking the right questions and he was responding in the appropriate way. And he was even taking time to think about what he was going to ask beforehand. I think he just said the exact wrong sentence at the exact wrong time. And if he had just simply kept his mouth shut, it would have ended much differently.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, he just chose the wrong words, not because he was being spiteful or wrong-sided or anything, because I got the sense that he was being very sympathetic in this conversation.
I think he was trying to understand him better. I agree with you that I like the questions he was asking, but then I guess, especially after Dick Halloran says, "Did you listen to anything I said?" He's like, "Okay, poor you. I'm sorry you have this, but we got to move on to the next step. We got to go find the pillars." And that means that Dick Halloran has to put himself in the line of fire too, and he's seeing all these dead people, and that must be pretty terrifying. So maybe he could have offered, the only thing he could have done differently is to say all right, well, how can I support you? Or what happened? How do you handle it when this happens? I mean, I know he's not paid to be a therapist, but I think Dick Halloran seems to be not exactly interested in this mission anymore, like you said.
Right.
So he's not in the mental space to be like, all right, let's get back to work. He wants to drink and forget it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if nothing else, Leroy could have said, all right, I'll check back with you in 24.
Yes.
24 hours, bro. I'll let you sleep this off.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. That's all he had to do was just give him more time. Just not rush into wrapping up the conversation or bringing the conversation back to the mission. Sometimes the conversation doesn't need to be wrapped up like that. Sometimes you can let things rest a little bit. And yeah, he being Dick is definitely being used. Because he says, either you can help with this mission or you can leave in handcuffs. So he's like, if he doesn't play along, then he's going to be court-martialed. So it's he's in a terrible situation here. And yeah, Leroy should have been a little more sympathetic about that because Dick is aware of his situation. He knows, but there's no reason to end the conversation that way.
Yeah. I mean, he's already got to play nice with General Shaw and be the obedient person to him. Major Hanlon is the superior officer. He's got more authority, but perhaps Dick Halloran feels, man, I already have to go by this white general's rules and him dangling these privileges over my head. Not you too, man. Not you too. Not ready for that yet.
That was one of my laugh out loud moments was when he's sitting on the floor drinking and Leroy comes in and then Dick gives him this half-ass salute while he's drinking, sitting on the floor. I mean, that made me LOL. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the moment when he was at the black spot, when he came and he was looking for some liquor, this is before he had confronted Hank. And it's apparent that he sees a ghost. Two of his friends are like, "Hey man, everything okay with you?" and he's reacting as if he's seeing something behind his two friends. But we, the viewers, don't see anything there because I rewound that scene. Like, what's going on? Like, we don't see whatever Dick saw, but we just saw his reaction to it along with his friends. So I thought that was kind of a neat way to show that little scary part without showing the scare at all. And the fact that like he started getting like the floor got wet on his feet right there. Like that. At first I thought he peed his pants, of course. And then we found out it's because the refrigerator's leaking or it's defrosting or something. Mm-hmm. But then it reminded me of like the, first off, the moment from Dr. Sleep when Danny pees his pants, when he sees a ghost and he's standing there and he sees a ghost and he pees his pants. And it's the exact same shot of the shoes. But it's also when he's in the plane and he starts seeing like water under his feet at the plane. And then he starts seeing the water under his feet there at the fridge. And I guess it's all kind of reminding him of the sewers, I suppose. Because it seems like you reacted strongly to that water scene.
Mm-hmm. I noticed when he was doing his telling Major Hanlon his story, he was sitting on a bed with his legs spread out. And I think maybe he had bare feet. And there's a scene in The Shining like that where when he's at the hotel.
Oh.
When he's not at the Overlook Hotel, but he's in his own place.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Then he sees the vision of Danny and that's why he decides to go. Yeah. But it's kind of filmed in that same way. So I thought that was a cool way to pay homage to that.
More Easter eggs.
Yeah. A couple other character beats for him, too. You know, he wasn't too happy to find out that Hank is there. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like he was ready to really give him the boot. But once he sees Ronnie come in and be so excited about her dad, he stands down about making a fuss.
I laughed at that moment, too, because he's like, oh, God damn it. Now I can't kick Hank out.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is I thought it was interesting that they show him kind of during this thing, he's kind of in and out of the party walking by.
Yeah.
But he's not really trying to hang out with the party.
Right.
And I was thinking, one of the things that his party friends help him do is drown out the noise. He was a cook. He can be near the chaos without being in the chaos.
Okay.
Because it's a noisy environment.
Right.
So even if the like dead people are talking to him, he doesn't hear it. But I did think it was creepy the way he was saying that I don't talk to them and then they don't bother me. But if I do talk to them, they will not stop talking.
Right. I thought that was very creepy too. And I thought it was very telling the way he said that they know things that we don't know. Mm-hmm. I think that's when Leroy jumped in like, oh, what do they know? They know the stuff about the pillars? And Dick's like, shh, no, they know things. They know things, man. So yeah, I think I'd like to know what kind of things he's talking about there. Like things about the afterlife, things about the before life. You know, ghosts must know all kinds of stuff that we don't know.
It's too horrible to share, Steve. You don't want to know.
I wanted to call back to Leroy real quick because we were talking about how he hit Will. And I think we made it clear that like the town is getting angry and like Leroy is part of that. He's getting kind of like built up from the town. The kids are fighting and stuff. And you were, the reason I'm saying this is because I remember when you were talking about Dick Halloran, like walking through the black spot and he's kind of like drunk. So you get that drunk vision while he's kind of like walking through everywhere. It was getting pretty hedonistic in there too. And bartenders serving kids drinks. I think this is all tied in with like Derry working the town's emotions up and everybody kind of like not following their best instincts.
Right. I mean, I thought it was interesting that Leroy, Will says it's gotten to you too. Mm-hmm. But they moved out of the town, so they're not drinking the Derry water anymore. But is it like he's already drank too much of the water?
He was close to it. If you're close to it and encounter it, then it affects you. So he just encountered it, basically. Mm-hmm. So yeah, sorry, they're even though they're on the outskirts of town, they're still definitely affected.
Yeah. So do you think that's true? Do you think that Leroy got taken over by the spirit of it in that moment?
I think this episode is showing everybody is being affected by it. I'm being serious when I think that the people in the club, like getting crazy and wild, has something to do with that. The townsfolk are getting crazy and wild, wanting Hank's head. The kids are even getting fractured and arguing amongst themselves. So yes, 100%. I think everybody is being affected by it in this episode.
Just drink milk, everybody. Just drink milk.
Exactly. Yes.
Or whiskey.
Or pickle juice.
Pickle juice. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Grogans. We've got Hank,
reunion of the Black Spot. Yeah.
And we've got Ronnie.
Heck yeah.
So I thought it was so funny that when they were at the standpipe, Ronnie finally did it. She talked about what we said last week, Steve.
Yes.
She said, why should we listen to you? Lily's got a new plan. She's got a new weapon. She's ready to go back to the sewers and maybe use it. And Ronnie says, no way. I don't want to do that. It's kind of your fault that a lot of stuff happened. People start pointing fingers, and Ronnie's doing it to Lily. Lily's doing it back to her. But I thought that was funny because that was our point. Maybe somebody else come up with the plan.
Yes. So I'm so glad that Ronnie pointed that out. I mean, angrily, and I guess she pissed Lily off too. She called Lily crazy. Just not great to call your friends like names that they're sensitive to like that. But I mean, the cat's out of the bag, I suppose, that she did that. And they're going to have to like reunite at some point if they want to get their semi-losers club back together. But yeah, Ronnie and Hank. First off, let me go into Hank real quick here. You said we saw all of Hank's posters going up all over towns. Everybody's whipped in a frenzy now because there's a $500 reward for Hank. Big deal, but everybody wants that money, I suppose. And it's significant how everybody is overlooking the Lost Kid posters and they're more focused on the Hank Grogan poster. They want to get revenge. The kids are an afterthought in this situation.
Right. That's true. They're sort of forgetting about those kiddos. And they're more worried about getting that $500 reward. What does that go to with inflation? What would that?
It's about 5,000. I've already looked it up.
All right, good on you.
So it's not even really that much. I mean, I guess it is significant, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to burn a building down to get that much money. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but Hank here he has a chance to be a normal dad a little bit. He's there at the Black Spot, but they bring Ronnie, and it looks like they've set up a lean-to situation where they're both sitting back there. So then he gets a chance to meet Will and be like, who's this gentleman that my daughter is now? You guys are spending time together, huh?
What's your favorite movie, son?
Yeah, I love
Who's
that.
Who's your favorite director?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm going to do. I don't have any kids, but if I did, I would be like, yeah, what's your favorite movie? Show me what you're made of.
I can tell you right now, I'm always disappointed by that with my kids and their friends because they're not into the same stuff I'm into at all.
Well, they don't need, it's not about what the answer is. It's do they have an answer and why? Do they answer that way? Because I met somebody at Thanksgiving dinner this week. People always ask me, what's your favorite movie? Which I hate that question because I'm like, ask me what my favorite movie is in a genre or what my favorite movie is to make me laugh or whatever. You have to be more specific.
Yes.
But he mentioned his favorite genre was romantic comedies. And that's not always an answer I get, hear from guys.
Sure.
So I asked him, why do you like that genre? And he had a very thoughtful answer. So I appreciated that, even though rom-coms isn't my favorite. I have some I like, but do you at least have something to say about your taste other than, oh, it's good or it's a good, Can you verbalize? Yeah, can you verbalize your reasoning about that?
I mean, I don't know. I would rather get asked what's your favorite movie than the typical conversation starters that I get are questions like, what's up? What you been up to? How's work?
Yeah.
I don't have any answers for those questions. I don't even know how to begin to answer those types of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I like specificity as well. I can tell you that. But let's see. Ronnie, she's not in school. Like the kids are in school one day and they note that she's not there. It's because she's there hanging out with her dad. And it's kind of an open secret that Hank's there at the black spot. Like we talked about this last episode or maybe the episode before that. And I think we pretty much said exactly this. Like this is exactly what's going to end up happening is he's going to be at the black spot hanging out there and everybody's going to find out. It's exactly how it played out. I think at one point, Rich says to Marge or maybe vice versa, just a few of my dad's friends or just a few of the guys know about this hangout spot. It's like, no, the place is very popular. And like, there's like 40 people there and probably even more know about this place. And you kids are all talking about it. So very much an open secret. I think by design, I think if they had kept that secret a little too tight, then Pennywise, the town, the mojo of the town would have gotten that information to the right people somehow. Because it's a lot smarter than it seems. It's not just like a scary clown that runs fast with big teeth. Like it's diabolical and it multitasks and it plans these things out very well. And I think that's part of the plan, that the townsfolk will figure out that Hank's there and the bar will be full of people, being debaucherous.
But people are debaucherous at bars on any given day. It's not.
Oh, sure.
I don't think they're extra debaucherous because of what's going on.
Oh, they were Dirty Dancing. Did you see that Dirty Dancing?
Well, I did, but
they were dancing sexy.
But that's probably a normal behavior.
I didn't get the sense of that was happening at the Falcon. You know what I mean?
The Falcon is a different kind of establishment. It is not a jazz club where there's dancing. But yeah, I thought it was, just to go back to Hank for a second with the movie, I thought, usually when somebody meets their daughter's boyfriend, they do not ask them their favorite movie. So I just thought that was a great character moment. They say, what are your plans, son? Or what do you plan on doing with the rest of your life? Or something like that.
I've asked my kids' partners, what kind of music do you guys like? Do you go to concerts? That's always my leading questions, is music questions. So I'm a little bit of Hank in that respect too, I suppose.
Yeah. And there was, Will, all he can think of is the movie they watched. Was it Boy Scouts that he watched?
War of the World?
Right. He said War of the Worlds. He watched it at like a boys' camp, I think is what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So the War of the Worlds, which I looked it up, it's a 1953 movie. I mean, I know what it's about, but it came out in 1953, the first filmed version. And, of course, it's about Earth being invaded by Martians, but they're very well-equipped Martians. They have a lot of technology. So I thought it's an appropriate movie to think about during this moment in history.
Yeah. And speaking of Will talking to Hank about his favorite movie, War of the Worlds, I was saying earlier about how Will's, going through a real arc here, kind of turned into a man. And the way he's telling Ronnie and her dad, like, yeah, I'm not going to let anything bad happen to you guys. And the way he kind of says it and the way he kind of like thinks about it for a second. And he's like, yeah, I'm really not going to let anything bad happen to them. I think it's almost like he decides like, yeah, I'm going to stick to that word. So, I appreciated Will all the way through.
Yeah, maybe he just realized that in that moment.
Yeah.
So Hank helped him realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. It's a nice little interaction there. Okay, we are going to now move on to our pirate and our knight, Rich.
Oh, yeah.
And Marge.
Yeah, a lot of strong feelings for these two here. Everything about their interactions I loved. Their lunchroom scene, their standpipe scene together where he's not afraid of her eye. He's actually enraptured by her even more. It's like her busted eye. It's like an entryway for them to like become a couple because he shows his tenderness by like caring for her. And then he's being thoughtful. He brings her like an eye patch later on. He's impressing her with the drums and she's enjoying drinking and enjoying his company. I can't say enough great things about these guys. I got a whole bunch of notes that I'm probably not going to say, but like I wrote down everything that was cute about them, and it's a lot of things here.
Yeah. Do we think Rich is a medic in training? I mean, he was now, and I wasn't too fond of the fact that he used his spit to moisten the bandage.
Nobody was fond of that.
But they taught him that. Apparently, that's what they taught him at the Weebelows. So you have to go with it.
Science is always changing according to Will. And I mean, Marge was at first resistant, but then she was okay with it. She's okay with Rich's spit. So that tells you a little something about how she feels about him.
Yeah, Marge, I mean, she was quick to apologize last week, but she just keeps getting cooler and cooler with every moment. I liked how she, Rich was pretty embarrassed. He wasn't sure he was confident enough to tell this girl that he had peed in a jar because he was too scared to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
But she turns it around and says, hey, that's what the knights used to do. So all of a sudden it's cool to pee in a jar.
Chamber pots. That's right. So all you guys around there driving in your white trucks with logos on the side that, there's no bathrooms around. You got to pee in a bottle. It's just like a chamber pot, just like the knights did back in the old days. So
yeah. And I remembered he was in a marching band, but I didn't remember that his instrument was drums. So that was kind of fun that he just happens to have his drumsticks in his back pocket when needed.
Well, if you go back to episode 2, when Will comes to town and they meet up in the hallway, they stuck a drum next to Rich.
Okay.
So there's like a snare drum sitting next to him. So I think they established that really poorly. They didn't you have to really go back and look for it. But there is proof that he is a drummer, because he's in the band and he carries a snare drum around with him. But yeah, he ripped. He's a regular Benny Koopa. What do they call those?
I think we need to, however, as a musician, I will say that marching band drumming is not necessarily going to get you where you need to go with jazz drumming. So hopefully they'll show us that Rich has been taking lessons for a while for this. I mean, don't try this at home, kids. Just because you played drums in marching band doesn't mean you have the skills to play at a jazz club.
The realism is not there. He could not have kept up with a jazz band. He's probably never sat behind a drum kit, because drum kits didn't really exist back then. That's why they had a marching band and everybody had a piece of the drums. So it's very far-fetched that he could play with that skill level. But this is a fiction show, and this is a kid that we're trying to love, and
it was delightful.
This really spoke to me.
It was delightful.
He couldn't even reach the rack tom. When he first does that first fill, he can barely reach it. So it's.
But yeah, what else? Oh, well, Steve, I hope this time you picked up on the fact that they were both eating Jell-O in the lunchroom. They both got a green Jell-O dish. So the school is once again really topping their budget with all of those Jell-O expenses.
39 cents a pack. That's what I hear.
Okay, but of course, besides that was that great scene, of course, in the club with the drumming and the Air Force Coke and all that. But we also have to talk about that great moment in the cafeteria where she really lets the patty cakes have it.
That's right. I stood up and saluted her like Queen Marge. That was a great moment where she has to she has to show herself. She has to show her alliance to the freaks in the freakiest way possible. So yeah, that was wonderful. And she makes one of the patty cakes choke on her gum. And so the other one has to give her a Heimlich maneuver to free her air pipe up. That was a great moment. It was a defining moment for Marge. And I'm telling you, I kept saying how Marge is gaga for Rich. But that was the moment that we see Rich fall in love with Marge, because they cut to Rich and his reaction after that happens. And he's super impressed. So I'm seeing a lot of goodness with these guys. And Rich is all about encouraging togetherness. He's the first one to recognize that the gang is angry at each other. And he's like, guys, this is exactly what it wants us to do. So he's the peacekeeper guy of the group.
Yeah.
And the reason that he's peeing in a bottle is because both him and Marge have been hearing voices in the pipes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And I mean, I think Rich was already thought she was pretty cute.
Yes.
But, when she decided to be like, I am a freak. And it's almost such, in a way, it's a boy thing to do. Like, boys love doing gross things, showing gross, here's my wound, and oh, that's gross, and well, I got this one, and here's a scar I got. I just thought there was a great moment for Marge, and there was so much suspense to it though, because we were all wondering, what is she gonna say?
That's
Is
right.
she going to leave Rich by himself? I didn't think she was, but I was not expecting her to go the route she did.
I was not confident. I was kind of afraid that she would go back to the patty cakes or something. Like, I'll be back in a second, Rich. I was prepared for that, but I was not prepared for the eye reveal. That was wonderful, wonderful stuff on the Machetes part. So I have every faith in the Machetes from this point on.
Yeah. There was also in the club, I think it's Rich and Marge are like, what are they doing?
The dirty dancing part?
Yeah, he's like, what are they doing? Or Marge says, maybe we should wait outside. And Rich is like, no, let's just stay here.
Oh yeah, he was hopping up on the pool table. He was, and that's something that you never do. Anybody listening, you don't sit on the edge of a pool table because those things are balanced to be level, and sitting on one side or the other can really skew that. So
also the top that can get torn. You don't want to tear your pool table cover. That's a no-no.
Yeah, we like you, Rich, but behave yourself.
I mean, this is the kind of life advice you're going to get on our podcast. So
that's right.
Keep listening, everyone.
Oh, the cut to song after the eye patch thing, and they cut to the song Pretty Little Angel Eyes immediately. I think that was a wonderful song choice to follow the eye reveal right there.
Okay. Put it on your Spotify list, everybody.
Yes.
Okay, so should we move on now to our last group?
I only have one last thing to say about Rich, which I think is because he keeps talking about the paper airplane. He was talking to it last episode about the paper airplane.
Yes.
And he's talking to doing the paper airplane with Marge again. Mm-hmm. He's trying to get it to go down Main Street. Mm-hmm. But something keeps it from going there. There's some sort of current that stops it, and it makes it always kind of shoot right instead of going down Main Street. And he notices that there's this current here, and it's significant that it happens right there at the edge of where a sewer pipe is. And I wonder if maybe there is one of the pillars is right there, and that's the reason that he can't get a plane to go down to Main Street.
I think Pennywise is just keeping a paper airplane collection. After Rich turned him on to it, he's very interested in it himself.
He's got 10 of them down there. Keep them coming, Rich.
Yeah, that's what that tower is actually made of. It's not bodies, it's paper airplanes that he's collecting.
Yes.
But yeah, it would be cool if at the end, they show these paper airplanes or something. They're being collected or
I mean, you're right. One of them went straight into the sewer, so I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, I mean, also it's interesting to think about how a lot of times in it, these little things ended up being big things. So I do think they keep bringing up the paper airplane. So yes, it's got to be something bigger than, oh, isn't that cute? He throws paper airplanes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm tracking with you.
Okay.
All right. We are going to move forward to our last little trio here. Lily, Ingrid / Periwinkle, and Bob Gray / Pennywise.
What a nice little effed up family we got going on here, huh?
So the big cat is out of the bag. Our bobcat is out of the bag.
What, Ingrid? Is that who you're talking about here?
I mean, yeah, we've been talking about Ingrid. We've been wondering what her deal is, what exactly is going on with her. And we get a flashback at the very beginning, and then we get an explanation of the flashback towards the end of the episode.
I mean, we get explanations with visual flashbacks. So in case you missed anything, it spells it out for you in this episode. She actually is this Periwinkle individual, and she actually is trying to get the attention of Pennywise. It's wild the way this all plays out. And yeah, she is indeed in her 60s. They established that in this episode because they say in 1930 is when she was celebrating her 30th birthday. So we know that Ingrid was born in 1900. Therefore, this is a 62-year-old woman. This is what 62 looks like, Lindsay. Not bad.
I mean, I was wondering if it helps, what she's been doing helps her look young.
I was wondering if she's wearing a wig right now and if she's like wearing makeup and appearing young.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with Lily, and then we can go. I think I want to touch on
small.
Lily because
okay.
So how I feel about Lily is that she seems to have gone full Gollum with this shard.
Yes. Good choice of words.
Nobody else can touch it. Nobody else can hold it. Just me.
Can't even touch it, Will. Jeez.
Yeah, he wanted to see it, and she was like, "I'll hold it." And yeah, that was freaky.
Well, like I said, I mean, Pennywise and it are affecting the town, and I think her having her hands on this thing, I mean, just like with Gollum in the ring, the more he held the ring, the crazier he got. Maybe the more she holds onto this shard, the crazier she'll get.
And I'm waiting to see how this kind of matches with our previous lore, I guess, because I'm having a problem a little bit with that aspect to it, that this seems to be having this negative impact on her. Maybe it's not the shard, maybe it's just being around, being in that place, being in that space. But, I've been watching the clips of in It Part 2 when Mike shows Bill Denbrough the piece that he has.
Right.
They marvel at it and look at it, and it does freaky things to you, but it doesn't make you feel like nobody else can touch this or you're hoarding it like you're holding the One Ring or something. So I'm trying to understand exactly how this is impacting her. And there was something else to it, but I can't remember. Anyway, she's now carrying it around with her at school and thinking it's show and tell. I don't know.
Yeah, waving at the teacher and stuff. Like her walking out of class with that thing was very 1962, the kind of thing you don't do anymore.
Yeah, she has sort of separated herself from her group of friends because of this item. There's that, and also her, her argument with Ronnie has caused her to kind of go off on her own. And her default mode of escape has become, I'm going to go talk to Mrs. Kirsch. And so she runs to her side, which is when we have the big interaction with them at the end. But
before she does, she has that image of, she gets a Pennywise image in her classroom that makes her run out of like her dad, Pickle Dad, and the desk.
Pickle Dad in the desk, yeah.
And what he says is also like another Easter egg, you could say too, like a phrase that was said, it was written in blood on the walls in It Part 2, I believe, or It Part 1, I mean, when he says, you'll die if you try. That's exactly what was written on blood in one of the walls I think that was for Bill, I suppose. And, it's scary stuff to have that happen to you in your classroom. And you notice that shard started glowing as well when that happened. Okay. So like, I guess its image was really there because otherwise it wouldn't be glowing. Mm-hmm. And actually it's kind of weird that it could get as close to her as it did in the classroom and send her that image while she was holding the shard. It's like you're saying, it is almost kind of like not plot hole, but kind of plot mystery territory.
Yeah.
Like, is it the shard that's making her act weird, or is it the town? Why would the shard be making her act weird? Why would the shard glow? And how can Pennywise get to her while she's holding it? So these are all kind of like unknowns, I think, that hopefully will get cleared up.
Well, also, who else have we seen interact with the shard? It's the Shokopiwa people.
Yes.
And we saw that nice long story about the origin story of these shards. We didn't see them acting crazy about the pieces. There was one piece that they were using and the daughter took it, but it wasn't like, don't take my shard away from me.
That's
So
a good point.
I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just not sure. I mean, it gave a creepy moment to Lily to be treating her friends this poorly and kind of feel like nobody else can touch this with me. But yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what was causing her to act that way.
Maybe it's because she's been in close proximity with Pennywise multiple times now. Like maybe she's been around him more than anybody else. So maybe it is affecting her mental health more so than anybody else as well. But yeah, like you were alluding to before, she has this crazy image in school, and she runs out and she goes to her comfort pal, Ingrid. And when she first goes and knocks on the door and first enters the house, I was convinced that the house was like empty and that it was like just like an empty, vacant house, and that everything that happened in there was like imaginary. I mean, of course, that wasn't true, but that was my first instinct when she walked in the house the first time.
Right. So yeah, now we talk about the reveal that how Ingrid's dad has impacted her life and vice versa. So I think there's some confusion, a lot of confusion about what we're seeing. So maybe we can help clarify that. And you're the one actually that helped me to see some of this. Is that apparently, so what happened is in 1908, after the Ironworks Easter egg hunt, Ingrid loses her dad. Now they haven't told us how that happens yet.
Correct.
He dies, he's arrested, he's blamed for the attacks. Something happens and she loses her father. Mm-hmm. So in real life, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. In real life, Bob Gray is dead.
Yes.
And Pennywise has taken his form as one of his favorite forms.
Yes.
Because I heard somebody was saying, like, I'm having a hard time absorbing that Pennywise has a daughter. And I'm like, well, that's because I don't think he actually has a daughter.
Yeah, he does not have a daughter.
He's taken on the form of this guy who had a daughter.
Yeah, he's taken advantage of this poor woman who, like, lost her dad back in 1908. She says that when the circus left and her dad departed, however he departed, we don't know how he departed, but he is departed, that she felt compelled to stay in Derry. And so then she started working at Juniper Hill, apparently. And that's when she, quote unquote, hooked up with her dad finally after 27 years back in 1935.
Right. And when this happened, this 1908 thing, she was a child herself. So she's probably
8 years old. Yes.
Yeah, she's in that early tween kind of years. And so she probably saw it herself in a form, or maybe the form of her father. So in 1935, time goes on. Ingrid realizes that the kids at Juniper Hill are seeing Pennywise again. And she takes one downstairs, this poor kid, Mabel, to see if the clown will appear to Mabel again. And she realizes that she can follow these kids or accompany these kids and be able to see, quote unquote, her dad again.
Yes.
So that was in 1935. And now apparently she's been waiting for the next cycle to begin so she can see him again. So she's not exactly herself like a kid killer, but she's not afraid to use these kids for the sake of getting to be close to the spirit of what she deems her father.
Yeah, she's kind of like benevolent in some ways. Like she tells Lily, I would never hurt you, because she wants to protect Lily. I think she sees a little bit of herself in Lily. She identifies with Lily. So she doesn't want to hurt Lily, but she doesn't care if she hurts Lily's friends because, if as long as Lily's okay and as long as she's okay, she being Ingrid, and as long as she can see Pennywise, she doesn't care who gets hurt or what happens or who she has sex with. I don't think she's having sex with Hank like to have fun. I mean, this was set up all along to make him the fall guy.
Yeah. Talk to me about that. Why do you think she got involved with Hank?
I think that she's influenced by it, just like everybody else is in her own way. And first off, it always likes to have a fall guy, and it always likes what is it called? The augury to happen, the big end all cycle, the big bloodbath at the end. It wants a big thing to happen. So it's been orchestrating this black spot incident or something like it for a while now. And in doing so, it's going to need a fall guy. It's going to need a reason for people to show up there. So it orchestrates this reason. She's going to be sleeping with Hank, which of course would get the town incensed. And in doing so, he doesn't have an alibi for when the kids get killed at the movie theater. So then he gets blamed for this whole, the kid killing thing. The town can go and get their vengeance. And while they're doing that, they can get their bloodlust going. And she is using Hank pretty much in the same way that she's using Lily. Maybe she feels like she's doing right for Hank in this situation. Like, I'm going to save your daughter, so I'm going to do this to you somehow. I don't know. But I'm certain that she is the one who called and said that Hank was...
tip. Yeah.
Both tips. The tip back in episode 2 and the tip this episode as to where Hank is at the black spot. I'm quite certain that it was her both times.
You think she called in the tip about the cigarettes?
Yes, I do.
Oh, Ingrid, this is cruel.
That's a step too far, Ingrid.
I had forgotten about that tip. I was just thinking this about this tip about the fact that he's at the black spot. I mean, obviously that was her. But yeah, that seems like you're pitching on both sides of the fence, Ingrid.
A little bit.
I was just thinking, even though she's not fully evil, almost what she's doing is more evil because she's using these little kids. And I thought it was so upsetting how, we only saw a little bit of the scene at the beginning. But then when we see the longer scene at the end where she's narrating to Lily, and she brings this little kid down here and says, "Don't worry, sweetie, it's just a balloon," and stops her from going upstairs so that this little terrified kid can be there. And she was almost observing this thing like an experiment of some kind. But yeah, and then she says, don't hurt her. But then she's also cleaning up her dad's mess. And has obviously continued to use these kids. I was like, oh, this is almost worse than what Pennywise is doing because these kids are trusting you.
Sure. She has to literally walk through blood in order to get to that vision of her father that she wants to see. So I think that image right there pretty much says it all. Like, she has to walk past blood and ignore it and then look at the vision of her father that she wants. So she'll do anything to secure her own happiness. And I think it's a true definition of insanity because she doesn't realize that she's being evil and she sees everything she's doing as good. She probably thinks she's helping Mabel somehow, even though we know that she's just using poor little Mabel.
Right.
She probably thinks she's helping Lily, but she's been guiding Lily and the gang this whole time, guiding them along, following them around, hoping that they get killed so she can see Pennywise. I mean, it's absolutely diabolical. And yeah, she's been doing it a long time. You see this line of little girls walking past her in 1935. And I'm like, oh no, how many of these little kids had to die after Mabel?
Yeah. And oh gosh, I had a thought and now it's gone.
That happens to me usually, not you. While you're thinking about it, I'll go back to this baby book that she has for herself. I think it's interesting. It gives us a good history of Derry and of her because it shows us the Derry Canal days, which, they're still celebrating those in the 80s because we saw Adrian Mellon. He got killed at the Derry Canal days. You can wave at me anytime you might remember your point there, Lindsay. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. So she seemed surprised, though, to hear that Lily saw the clown. So she knew that. I was trying to figure out what she knew and what she didn't know because she was like, "You've seen him," she was surprised that the Lily was involved to this extent.
Yeah, because she hasn't seen him yet. She's been hoping to, and she knows he's around. But yeah, she's finally excited that Lily has actually seen him with her own eyes, because she has not seen him with her own eyes yet.
And wasn't it exciting? Did you find it exciting, Steve, to realize that the clown with the sombrero
oh, yes,
was Periwinkle? Which is why we didn't quite recognize that silhouette.
Yeah, and that also explains why we could see it, because she's a real person. Like Pennywise and all those dead kid images were not real. Pennywise created those. But that image of her was real because she's an actual person. So I like that aspect of it and explain why we saw that image.
Mm-hmm. So at the end, we see that, Lily leaves, of course, and she's upset. But then Ingrid puts on her costume.
Oh, yeah. She's suiting up.
She's cosplaying. So what, I don't know. What do you think is going to happen with that? I mean, I guess we can save speculations. We're almost at the end, but,
Oh, well, I mean, you just asked me, so I got to tell you.
Go ahead.
She's going to the black spot because she has already given, all clues are leading to, everybody in town is going to go get Hank at the black spot because she caught in the tip, my speculation. She caught in the tip, so she knows this is going down tonight. So I think she's suiting up as what was it, Periwinkle? So that when she sees Pennywise, she's like, I'm finally going to see Daddy tonight, and I'm going to show him my costume. I mean, this Bob Gray dude must be pretty awesome. Must be a great dad because she's going through an awful lot to see him again. Yeah.
I want to say that I've meant to say this every week, but Periwinkle is a really pretty color. So everybody should look up that color swatch. It's like a bluish, purplish color. It's a very nice shade.
I know it because there's a character named Periwinkle, and I can't remember what cartoon it is. But yeah, I know the name and the color and all that stuff from this one particular character from a kid's cartoon. So yeah, look that one up as well while you're looking up the color Periwinkle. I never look things up on the podcast, by the way. And I'm 160 episodes in, and I have never once stopped to look up a fact on Google or anywhere else because I just am terrified of losing focus. So.
Right. Well, we don't need to because usually James tells us what we missed. Like he did that one episode, he told us what the price of Jell-O was and what the price of the eggs was. I don't know. So James, let us know what you find out about Periwinkle.
He told me a couple weeks ago, he was like, I'm gonna record a 1 or 2 minute, little segment of what I think about the episode and include it in y'all's podcast. And I'm like, okay, yeah, please do it. I'd love for you to do that. He has yet to do that. So here's your opportunity to James. If not, edit this all out.
Well, hopefully he might, maybe he'll be here next week. Who knows?
He's invited for sure.
Yes. Okay, so we also have this white mob that forms at the very end, this white mob that forms under the guidance of Clint Bowers.
That's right.
And of course, they all show up and descend. I mean, I knew that the season's going to end, or the augury is going to be the black spot. But I wasn't expecting the black spot. We have this fun event, and then at the end of that, we're going right into it. I was like, okay, it's here. Yeah. Okay, so there's not going to be night 1 at the black spot, night 2 at the black spot. By the end of the week, the fire happens. It's going to happen pretty soon. So this white mob forms, and not only is it a white mob, but they are wearing masks.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think about their appearance?
My first watch through, I didn't really catch the masks that they were wearing, honestly. I just saw that they were wearing masks, and I was like, what a bunch of creeps. The second watch through, and of course, the online chatter, when you learn that they're universal monsters, that's fun stuff. Clint Bowers is Dracula, and I think that Stan Kirsch that's next to him, because Stan Kirsch was the guy that was doing the dialogue in the bar, by the way, Ingrid's husband. So it's really funny that he's in this mob as well, but he's there. I think his mask was, somebody said it was the creature from the Black Lagoon, but it looked like Frankenstein to me. What did you think?
I didn't notice that the masks were universal monsters until I saw it in a post today. Maybe we saw the same post.
Yeah.
But I thought, on the one hand, I was thinking, well, that's different. And then I also thought it's kind of diabolical because Hank loves movies and they're going to use that against him by using masks from these universal monsters. But then if this was a horror comedy, I could see Hank, like them showing up and him going, so what's your favorite movie? Or like him, kind of like in Scream, they would use that to be like, have a back and forth.
Okay.
Little clever quips about the characters that they've chosen and why. But yeah, I just think it's creepy when people show up in masks.
Absolutely.
At all. I think the way that all happened was really neat, how all the cars kind of pull up and they've got their headlights on and it's blinding these two that are outside just having a little shoot the breeze moment. And they come out and they're wearing these masks. So I just thought the build
wielding
up
guns.
To that was...
Don't forget the guns. That's the scariest part.
Yeah, I miss the guns. But yeah.
I heard somebody say in a post as well, the same post that we both saw, that the masks could represent the forms that it has taken in the past. And now it is there represented as the townfolk, because it did come as a Dracula, as a creature from the Black Lagoon, and of course as a clown. And that's what those 3 front-facing monster masks were supposed to be. So it seems like that could be like a 1-for-1 for the It monsters. It's like, I've been these monsters before, and now they're here again as humans that are actually going to do some damage.
Mm-hmm. When have we seen vampires?
In the movie It, one of the kids had a vampire experience.
Okay.
A Dracula.
So you're talking about not in the past though, in the
Stephen King universe.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And let's see. The mob forms because Hank got fired from being a police officer. So that's got to be mentioned here. I'm sorry, Clint. Did I say Hank? I keep getting their names.
That's okay.
There's very similar names. Anyway, Clint Bowers, fired from being a police officer. I'm thinking he might have gotten fired for maybe the bus escape, for Hank being escaped, maybe for like general incompetence, because like whenever like an easy out comes up to close a case, he will jump on it. So I wonder if that's kind of caught up with him, because we don't see any other hints that he's getting fired. We can only speculate, but I'm thinking it's possibly has something to do with Hank.
I mean, I think that's what he said, that the councilman was upset that he had not closed the case on this child killing yet. Because remember when he was in the Falcon, those 2 people came up to him and were like, have you arrested, Bowers yet?
Gotcha.
And so they were sort of like telling him he wasn't doing his job correctly. So yeah, I think he said incompetence or lack of confidence. They said something about lack of confidence in my ability to do this job. So yeah,
that's exactly it. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. And if he hadn't gotten fired, again, this is the machinations of it at play. If he hadn't have gotten fired, he would not have gone and gotten this mob riled up. He would have instead gone to arrest Hank.
Yeah.
So once again, it is playing into the town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at our black spot scene, I'm thinking we will finally discover the source of the hatred between the Bowers family and the Hanlon family.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even think about that. Like the Hatfield and McCoys of Derry. And it's obvious that's Clint Bowers with the Dracula mask on. Like nobody can argue that. He's wearing the exact same clothes, exact same hairstyle. We just saw him in the scene previous. That's definitely him and Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think we're ready to rate our episode.
Oh yeah. Okay. Rate away. Well, me first or you first?
You go first.
Okay. I loved everything about this episode, even the things that I was a little questionable about, like Richie's drum, like how we can be a drum prodigy so quickly, questionable things about the plot aside. I loved everything about this, and I keep loving each episode more and more since episode 3. And in fact, I liked episode 3 with the exception of Cemetery Gate, as it's now known as. So I can only give this one a full 5 out of 5 turtles, Lindsay, because I've been given 4s. I've been given 4s, been wanting to give a 4.5, but I can't because I'm like strict on my, whole numbers only thing I put on myself here. So this can only be a 5. I loved it. And I have high hopes the next episode will be a very mournful 5 as well, but we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
How are you looking, Lindsay?
Yeah. Ditto, ditto, ditto. I mean, I've had 5s the last 2 episodes, and this was so fun. It had at least 2 moments where you felt a need to audibly cheer.
Yes.
So I can't fault anything about this episode, really.
Nor I. Do you have an MVP of this episode?
I do. I can say who that is if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
we're
am I
ready
jumping the gun?
No, we're ready for MVPs.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what else wonderful things we can say because we love this. So
yes. Okay.
Who's yours?
My MVP for this week is gonna be Marge.
Oh, I wonder why.
Marge, yeah. I wasn't liking her at the beginning. I did not like how she was flip-flopping on her friend and was going to join the Mean Girls, and she was doing the patty cakes thing. That was annoying. But yeah, I like how she has come into her own. She's ready to be herself and not pretend anymore. And I like how she didn't make Rich feel like a freak.
Yeah.
And she liked his gift. And even though she wasn't ready to say we were going on a date, I think she might be changing her mind when she saw him on those drums.
I saw the look on her face. Yeah, I think you're right.
What about you, Steve?
Yeah, so my MVP, I think my MVP is she had a quote this week where she said, "I love these Air Force Cokes," and that's Marge. Man, I'm a Marge guy myself too. So she definitely deserves it this week, despite what anybody else did, what any adult, what any politician, what anybody did. Nothing is cool as showing that eye to like her nemesis and scaring them off. I mean, I love that scene. I loved everything about her. I loved her little ragtime dance she was doing while Rich was on the drums. I wanted to give my MVP to Rich for the great job on the drums, but Marge definitely has won me over. For this whole series, it seems like I'm all team Marge all the way. So she is 100% this episode.
Yeah. Well, I will say my honorable mention then, since we had the same MVP, my honorable mention is Ingrid, because I knew that she was going to be a compelling character. But what we got was so much more rich than I expected, with how devious her character is, how sick, how twisted. And so, Madeline Stowe, you finally earned your paycheck. Although I want to shout out too that the younger Ingrid was played by Tyner Rushing. So I was sitting there going, that doesn't look like Madeline Stowe during the black and white scenes.
Right. I thought maybe they were just CGI her face to make her look younger or something. But then like I saw your notes and I was like, well, wait, it's a different actress. So that's impressive that they got somebody that looks so much like her. And I don't know if they did any touch-ups or not, but man, yeah, she did a great job as a young Ingrid.
Yeah. And the other honorable mention would be the cinematographer for that beautiful black and white sequence.
Oh, yeah. I kind of think it's like maybe we're seeing that in black and white because, TV was black and white in 1962 also, but this show is in color. I think we're seeing life through Ingrid's eyes, like her memories, like her black and white memories. And that's why we're seeing the red so like brightly, is because that's what she remembers the most, perhaps.
Right. Yeah, she's not remembering her father or that situation the way it was. She's remembering how she wants it to be. And it's very Hollywood, very melodramatic.
Yeah.
Her life is like a movie. She must really like movies too. That's how she ended up with Hank.
Probably was her way in. That's exactly right. Do you like Singing in the Rain? Me too. Did that come out in 1962? I don't know.
Okay, so we can make predictions if we want, or anything else you want to discuss, Steve?
See, I don't really have any. I mean, the predictions I have, I think, seem pretty cut and dry. I think the black spot's going to have a fire there. And I think that, I do think that Periwinkle is going to show up and around the fire and maybe giggle or something. I don't know what she's going to do there, but she's going to be looking for Pennywise. And do you have any predictions for the next episode besides the obvious? I can't really think of any other things I'm hanging my hat on.
Well, I don't know if I have a solid prediction, but I am curious what's going to happen with Lily now, because she's the only one of our characters that isn't at the black spot right now that we know of, or she was leaving the house screaming. So where's she going to go now? Does she know about the black spot? I don't know, because Ronnie and Will found out because of Charlotte. So somehow Lily's got to be brought into this, because of course all of our characters are going to be, together at the end.
Wow. Okay. The last time we saw Lily, she was screaming on her bike with a bloody handprint on her back.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Everybody at school and everybody around town, believes that she's crazy, and they believe that she attacked Marge. The patty cakes think that she attacked Marge. The only person that doesn't think that is Marge. So, like, if the black spot does happen and something bad does happen to all our characters, then it seems like Lily would be a pretty good fall guy for that situation.
Yeah.
A good, blame game kind of person.
It would be too neat and too nice if Lily was able somehow to meet Rose and be able to get rid of that weapon. I really would prefer that shard to go back to its rightful owners and not for Lily to be carrying it around anymore. But this episode, Rose or Taniel, neither one of them showed up. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're wondering. It might be that if next episode is the black spot, then the last episode, which is Winter Fire, that could be the cleanup and the fallout. And maybe that's when we'll see Rose again, because Shaw is going to be upset that his people got attacked in this way. I don't know. Hopefully he will. That he cares about his
I think
airmen.
He will. I think he'll be upset about that. He seems to care for his guys and doesn't let race get in the way. But yeah, that's some good prediction happening there, especially with Lily, her not being around, and Rose and Taniel. I forgot all about them. They didn't even say hi this episode. So that's another great prediction, is hopefully Lily will make her way over there to that side of town and get this back in Rose's hands, because she doesn't know what she's doing with it. She stabbed Ingrid with it. Come on, that's not great.
Yeah. It's just more questions really than predictions. I'm like, where's Lily going? How's she going to be brought into this?
No, these are strong predictions, Lindsay. Come on now. We're the predicting podcasts.
Well, a prediction is when you say, I think this is going to happen, and I really have no idea, because that's why we have people who make movies. I get to see what they do with it. I just get to evaluate it and decide if it was well done or not.
That's right.
Okay, but you did have something else you wanted to bring up here.
Yeah, we're forgetting about we're not forgetting about him, but I wanted to bring him back up. Baron Bo Odar. He's going to be joining the crew in season 2, and that's the whole reason we really started this all up, was just because we were Baron Bo Odar fans first. So it's interesting for me to think about what kind of changes could happen, because at first I think I messaged you and I was like, is he going to be taking over for the Machetes, or is he going to be joining the Machetes? And your response was that he's joining the Machetes, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I don't see them going anywhere.
I don't either. Do you see him bringing a different tone to it, or do you see him bringing a different edge to it, or maybe just directing 1 or 2 episodes? What do you think Baron's going to be looking like? And is he bringing Yante with him? Those are my questions for you.
Yes, she's in the pictures. She's in the pictures that they posted of them visiting the lot. Now, I mean, she could just be there as a supportive spouse, but those two are partners. They do everything together.
Okay.
And my prediction is that they are bringing the two of them on as continuity writers because they made Dark. They made a show with at least 3 time periods where there's a cycle and storyboarded all that stuff out. And of course they had a plan, but somehow they've brought them in. We're saying that based on their Instagram posts. If you don't know where we're getting this information from, because it's certainly not on IMDb. Mm-hmm. I did Google Baron Bo Odar, Welcome to Derry, just to see if there were any updates. And the first thing it said was they are producers of Welcome to Derry, but I couldn't find that verified anywhere, whether on HBOMax, on IMDb, or any of the websites. So that still has not been officially announced.
I don't think season 2 and season 3 have officially been announced either, even though we know they're going to be happening.
Right. Well, interestingly enough, today he made a post on Instagram. He's ever since, just to give everybody the tea who's not informed, their last show, Baron and Yantia, their last show was 1899. Everybody should, well, maybe not. We can't assume everybody's listening to us forever, but both Steve and I, that's how we met, is actually through 1899. And that was a 3-season show that was canceled after 1 season. And also there was a plagiarism accusation that got wielded at this show for copying a graphic novel, which neither one of us agree with that they stole from this graphic novel. But that was enough to cause Yantia to leave social media. She no longer has a social media account. So that was that kind of was a beat up for her. Baron has been still posting on Instagram some, but they're very enigmatic posts where he's not saying anything directly.
Right. Yes.
His latest group of Instagram stories, though, he posted 8 years ago, Dark was released. So that was the first story. And then he posted the second part of that story was that he made, I'm looking at the story right now, so I'm waiting for it to turn over. It says, "Greets from the desert, Palm Springs." And it's a picture of him. So he doesn't always post pictures of himself on his social media. So it feels like he's becoming a little more public again. So that's why I am thinking that he's joined. But I will tell you that the Welcome to Derry, that has been confirmed nowhere. We're just seeing his Instagram for the clues, and he has the red balloon. He posted that he's been working with the Muschietis. Mm-hmm. So it has to be this show, but I don't know why they're keeping it so hush hush. As far as your question of how it would change, I don't see it. It really would have to change, and especially if the Muschietis, they've got their own plan. They might just be being brought on to kind of help them make sure the writing is continuous. They're not seeing any gaps in it or putting anything in that people might go, wait a second, that doesn't match what you did here.
Yeah, they did a really good job of portraying 1895 and, the 1980s and the 1950s. So I think maybe that's kind of like a little feather in their cap there. I think that these people could really do a period piece well, because we know the next one is going to be set in 1935. So, maybe that's the whole attraction there, is that they can do time periods well. And maybe who they have slated for season 3. I know they've talked about a different producer for season 3 as well. They plan to bring on, and maybe that individual hasn't the same kind of, skills in directing as well, and can do early 1900 periods well, because we're going to have to do a 1908 season. I don't know. Do you think that this whole Palm Spring thing was a personal post, or do you think it was a clue post for us clue hounds?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about Palm Springs, so I can't say.
I don't either.
I guess my point was that he posted a picture of himself with a camera, and he doesn't always post himself.
In fact, hardly ever.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And how he put the post about dark. So he's reminding people that he's created a show. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe he's gearing up for an announcement. So he's anxious to tell people the news, but he can't yet. So he's waiting.
Yeah.
My prediction would be that once season one ends, when they start season 2 promotions, they would probably announce it then.
I would hope so. And yeah, let's throw Yante in there too, please. Because we've been talking about Baron, but yeah, I kind of forgotten about Yante, and I wanted to make sure she was in the fold. But I guess the answer is wait and see for season 2.
And she's the writer. She's the one of the two of them. She's the writer. He's the director. She's the writer. So, yes. I mean, if they're being brought on as continuity writers, Yancha's going to have a big role in that.
Cool. Right on. Well, I don't think I have much else for an end here. Do you, Lindsay?
Just a couple plugs I wanted to make.
Oh, well, of course.
So my first one is that Stranger Things season 5 came out, and I did a recording yesterday with my buddy Harrison. When season 4 came out, we did the same thing. So I did a podcast recap of the first part. That should be dropping on the pod this week sometime. Also, a very good movie on Netflix has come out that has some award chatter, Train Dreams. It's got Joel Edgerton in it. It's the story of a guy who lives a life.
That's me. It sounds really familiar. Now, I haven't heard of that one. Train Dreams, you say?
Train Dreams, yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever see a movie called The Journey of Natty Gann? Did you ever see that movie?
Did not.
Oh, okay. Well, in that movie, there's a guy that works on trees. You know, it's that time when there was all the building done, so you needed people to saw down all these trees and fell all these trees.
Right.
And Natty Gann is this guy's daughter. They get separated, and she tries to find him, and she travels by train. I was like, this movie reminds me of Journey of Natty Gann. Totally different tone. It's not an adventure. It's more like a dreamy portrait of America during this time of history when there was all this building happening, and people are like, how can I set up this life? But there's not enough safety nets put in place, so bad things can happen, and all of a sudden you've lost everything. And then how do you rebuild from that?
Okay. Right on. I recently saw The Life of Chuck just a couple nights ago. That's another Stephen King one. You were saying, we said The Life of, that made me think about The Life of Chuck. That was a great film, written by Stephen King, directed by, what's the fella's name? Mike Flanagan. Yeah, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. It's not a horror. It's just a great story about one man's life and his journey through it. And the first act will kind of throw you through a loop, and act 3 will fill you in. But as for plugs, I will second your plug for your talk with Harrison. He's a great guy to listen to on podcasts. And I will tell people that if they want to see the transcript of this, you could check it out at oneofmystories.com. Lindsay's been posting these transcripts, and that's a fun post to share always. And then check out my website, sweetchildofTime.com, or write us an email at sweetchildoftimepod@gmail.com. Those are my plugs, Lindsay. I'm piggybacking off your plugs.
Thank you. Good piggyback. I like a good piggyback ride.
Hop on, piggy. Oh, wait, we can't say piggy anymore. That's turned into a bad word.
Oh, okay. What would Miss Piggy say about that? All right.
It's my name, Kirby.
Well, I think we're ready to end this podcast discussion then. So thank you, everyone, for joining us in this episode of Welcome to Derry. May all the clowns you meet be kind, not murderous, and may all the friends you've met be kept safe in your hearts. And we hope to see you all next week for episode 7, The Black Spot. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.